TJ, good morning. How you feeling?
Good morning, guys. How we doing, man?
Well, we were worried about you. I mean, you had been out since November 4th, I believe it was. So, when we ask how you feeling, I think it's not about whether the loss got to you, whether the end of the game got to you. I thought you guys played a pretty solid game, but just physically, after not playing for a while, how do you feel this morning? Is it different when you're actually in a game, when you're playing in that cold? How do you feel after getting back on the field and getting back to your work?
Yeah, honestly, I feel good. Just getting back out there. I think it took me a second to kind of get going, but man, it felt good just to be out there with the guys, and honestly, just a little disappointed with how it turned out, but body wise, it helped that it was just cold as could be out there. My legs were numb, so I didn't feel anything. I was good to go, man.
Big picture, what do you do with a loss like that? It comes to your rival. Obviously, the stakes were high. And at the same time, the way you guys played in the second half had to be somewhat encouraging. You get another shot at them in 2 weeks, and you're still right in the thick of the playoff hunt. So disappointment, yes, but you also saw some encouraging signs. Overall, how do you view it?
Yeah. Again, I thought you got to tip your cap to them. I thought they played a good game through and through. I think we started a little slow, and they made a couple more plays than we did against good teams, man. That's kind of how it goes. But kind of like you said, man, not discouraged whatsoever. We're gonna get back in there today and kind of see what happened, what we liked and didn't like, and then kind of fix it and move on, and we're on to Cleveland.
Just wondering when you guys are in the pregame warm-ups and you see a guy like Kyler Gordon go down with I guess he re-injured the groin injury that he had. That is so unfortunate, and I suppose in a way almost predictable, given soft tissue injuries and the cold and needing to stretch everything out. Did you do any extra work with your hamstring before you got out? It was the hamstring, right? We know you had the hand and you had hand surgery, but I had read somewhere or heard from someone that you had a setback with the hamstring, which is one of the reasons it took so long to get back. Did you do any extra stretching, any extra work? How did you deal with having a soft tissue injury in that kind of horrible weather?
Yeah, I mean, kind of at this point, I feel like my legs are feeling pretty good, so I could kind of do, some of my just normal routine for the game. Especially in that, you don't want to. Again, man, I kind of just wanted to go in there as fresh as I could be. I mean, geez, I took enough time off, man. I'm ready to go. So, but no, I mean, it's kind of what this weather is at this time of year. Played in it most of my life too, so I kind of know what to expect, but. Again, man, with those soft tissues, you just kind of have to go by feel and kind of see how it goes. And yeah, man, it's kind of what it is.
TJ, let's talk about the game. You guys were very aggressive against Jordan Love, and you're coming off a week. I know you didn't play, but against Jalen Hurts, the blitz worked, and the Philadelphia Eagles seemed a little bit confused at times. Yesterday, that was not the case. Jordan Love was really good against the blitz, 9-12 according to PFF, 171 yards in all three of his touchdowns. What was it about yesterday's game plan that you think wanted you guys to be aggressive, and why didn't some of those blitzes work?
I mean, again, I think they made some really good plays on some of those times when we made pressures, and I think for the most part, just kind of how I look at it was, I think first and second down, probably even just in that first half, a little bit in that second half too, kind of just struggled to kind of get them on our terms. They were getting into situations where, they kind of had the advantage, whether it was third and short or just doing things that I felt like they could dictate rather than we could. And, I think that starts with the run game, just kind of being better in the run game to stop that early, so we can get out there. And then, you get them out there in third and longer, then it makes it a little more difficult to see what's going on. So I think they just executed better than we did on those big time plays. And but again, we'll go look at it today and figure out kind of what happened and correct it and move on.
I'm just curious, do you take solace in the fact that you have them again in a couple weeks? Do you like playing division games kind of in a bunch late in the year, or would you prefer to have spread it out, just out of curiosity? I'm sure you know the game plan, you know everything that was going down, and now you got Cleveland, and you can't mess around with that. It's got to be a very serious game. But then Green Bay coming right back will give you an opportunity to kind of have them fresh in your mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best part about just meaningful football late in the year, man, is all these games are important. Doesn't matter who's on the schedule or where we're playing. All these things are games that we want to win and need to win. So, you can feel the energy around it. You can feel the atmosphere. And that's why you play, to go out here in these big time games and go compete against the best teams, man. And so again, I think obviously we know we have them in a couple weeks, but like you just said, man, Cleveland's a good football team too. So it's one of those things where we got to be focused and come out firing and play our best ball for sure.
So TJ, post-game stats say that you played 33 of the 53 snaps and DeMarco Jackson played all 53, and I just wonder, moving forward, will you get back into the role where it was before the injury, playing every snap, calling the defenses, being in the middle of everything, and was yesterday maybe just gradually bringing you back until you do get your legs back and everything looks healthy?
Yeah, I mean, I know we definitely had a little bit of a plan going into the game, but again, man, I'm going to do exactly what I'm told and just make sure that I can do anything I can to help impact this team in a positive way, and I'll see what it looks like for these next couple of weeks for sure.
This segment with TJ Edwards is sponsored by Great Clips. It's gonna be great. I can't tell you how many calls or how many texts we have received this morning about, make sure the Bears know that this is a trap game. And we were talking about it. You're not allowed trap games in the NFL. Every game's a trap game in the NFL. Yeah. And it's not high school. It's not college. It's unacceptable to not take every opponent seriously. And I'm sure that you know that and have known that since you came into the league. But I think that would be a lesson to people who played the Bears last year. It didn't matter how many games a team was losing. You were going to be a dangerous opponent even if things were going awry. So I think that you kind of have to have that attitude, and I'm sure that everyone in the locker room has that mentality.
Hey, man, I don't even know if I need to answer the question. I'm pretty sure you just hit it right there. You're good to go. No, it's a really good football team, like you said, and all these teams have really good players, man, and we see that every single week with this Cleveland team. So I kind of just caught some of the highlights of what they did last week and in a tough game too. So no, it's a good football team, man, and I'm excited to get in there this week and see what they look like for sure.
How would you describe the week of preparation for the Packer game? How does it compare to other weeks against other opponents? And do you feel like you guys were as ready as you could have been mentally for this challenge?
Yeah, I mean, it's Packer week. It's the week that a lot of people in this city around here know exactly what it means, and so do we. And I think we embrace that a little bit too. And I think we were absolutely ready to go play, man. And I think that's why, obviously a little disappointed, but thought we had a really good week of prep, and had a good solid game plan on what was going on. Just again, man, kind of came down to them out executing us in those couple plays, and we'll get them in a couple weeks though. But like you guys just said, man, it's on to the next, and we got to be ready to go this week.
It was really interesting to hear the kind of what was coming out of Green Bay last week, because Ben Johnson, when he got the job, said that one of the things he enjoyed, he talked about how good the coaches were in the division, said he wanted to be in the division, said one of the things he enjoyed when he was in Detroit was being able to beat Matt LaFleur twice a year, because obviously Detroit did that last year. And then, all this, subtext came out of Green Bay, and apparently your buddy Micah Parsons felt that the Bears were disrespecting him by going up there expecting to beat the team he's on. The whole thing, it's just sort of crazy NFL talk where you get worked up and angry about the schedule makers. I don't know what it is, but I just wondered, was there chippiness on the field? Was anybody saying anything? Were you guys saying anything? Was that carried over onto the actual playing surface?
I mean, I don't know. I think just because, man, the importance of the game, right? And both teams, want to win and playing hard, and obviously, it being the game that it is. But man, I think again, it's one of those games where you know what the atmosphere is going to be like. You know what you're walking into, and that's kind of why you play. Like I said before, man, in those big time games, and you got to put everything on the line. So, I mean, I think all the media and all that stuff, man. I think that's why we enjoy Coach, just because he's a competitor, man, and he wants to win just like we do. So they got us this time, but like I said, we'll go back to work this week and see him when we see him for sure.
How challenging is it to play linebacker in the NFL and tackle a guy like Josh Jacobs with a broken hand?
Yeah. No, he's a really good player, man, and obviously you kind of saw some runs that he hit on us that he's making some good plays. He's just a strong dude, right? Really good vision, good balance. Lucky, I guess one blessing of the hamstring was that the hand got to heal a lot more than it would have if I just would have played that next week. So hand was feeling fine. Like I said, man, if it was just my hand, I'd have been playing with this and we would have figured it out. But it was good to get back out there and get a feel for it, and didn't bother me too much.
Do you talk much, or do you let your play do the talking? I'm just curious from a personal standpoint. I was told one time that the closer you are to the ball, the less chatter there is, just because you got to hit each other quite a bit. But that the wide receivers talk, the corners talk, like the farther away from the ball, you can really have, you can say anything you want.
Yeah, I mean, I think interior wise, we're gonna line it back up the next play. So I don't think there's a whole lot of talking going on, at least not for me. But I think DB wise and wide receiver wise, you normally get some of those little scrums kind of when they're blocking at the end, and I think Texas is what it is. We know interior wise, they gotta see them boys the next snap. So there's not a whole lot of talking. We'll talk after if we need to, but other than that, man, it's time to put the ball down. Go ahead, go to work.
You got to look ahead. You're not taking the Browns lightly because you can't afford to. You've got a rookie quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. I know it's probably too early for that. You've looked at the tape, but when you see a rookie, does it change your approach? Do you look forward to being able to maybe confuse a rookie in a way you might not a veteran? What is the mindset?
Yeah, I think again, just kind of seeing these last couple of games that he's played in, I felt like he's made a lot of good plays. They're a really competitive team all around. Really good players all around. So, got to play a really good football game, and excited to see kind of what the game plan looks like. But we obviously know he's really talented, and they got some really talented weapons too. And I still think that O-line is a really good O-line. And again, man, it's going to be one of those games you got to come out swinging and play a really good football game.
We know there's no such thing as moral victories, but you can't help but feel that the way this team has played, you belong in these kind of big games, and you still control your fate, and that has to feel good despite things going awry a little bit up in Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, I think, getting down after that first half, just coming back out and, how we kind of executed to get back in. And I think, our offense did such a good job of just scoring points and getting us back in the game and us getting some stops when we needed to. But like you said, man, it's tough. I feel like when you lose, it's hard not to look at, what went wrong. But I think the fight in the team, that's something that's been there all year, man. It's never wavered. It's never been a thing where anyone's down or, blaming anybody. It's who's going to make the next play to get us back in this game, and that's been the mindset. And we're right there kind of till the end, but And, you know, we've been on the other side of those this year too. So it's kind of how it goes sometimes.
Well, welcome back, and thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thanks, TJ.
Appreciate you guys, man. Good seeing you.